Okay. So I've got all the characters that I really need. I mean, there are some punctuations that I probably might want to do later. But there's also some that I just don't know how I would do them if I needed to do them. Like, I don't know how to do at. I don't think I can do at with the rules that I have. But anyways, I've got capitals A through Z. I've got lowercase, most of them, and then the rest are going to be the same. Equals is one of those ones I don't think I could be able to do. I can probably do... Anyways, I've got all the characters that I really need, and I've taken screenshots of them. So now I can come into this program, FontForge. Who's meowing? I can come into this program and make the letters. You know, make the font. So I figured out what I want, how I want to do this. So what you do is you double click on the letter that you want to design, right? And then you've got this box here shows up, or this window here shows up, and it is where you draw your letter, right? And that white spot is what is the letter. So I can import stuff. For now, I want to go to font info because I need to name it. And I've learned that I need to spell out with letters only. And then I believe name for humans can be that. I don't know what the weight means. I don't know what any of these other things mean. But like, I know that in order for it to show up as the name that I want in the list of fonts, when I select a font, I need to change one of these three things here. So there. Now I'm going to make A. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to import where is it? It's T, this one. Capital A. Okay, now if I click on back and I click on the, I can move this around. And what I need to do is scale it. And in order to scale things uniformly, you have to go through all these menus. And I believe I wanted 150%. Yeah, 150%. Now, I have to click on 4. I have to make sure that's selected so that I can go and auto trace. And now if I, there. See, the A is in there. But the trouble is that it's got all kinds of weirdness around it because it traced literally everything. So if I only show the 4, I can highlight just what I want, go to edit, select, invert selection, delete. Okay, now I've got just the letter that I want. I select it all, I click on this bottom left point, and I drag until it snaps to the origin. And there it is. There's my A. Now I have to go to this window. I have to click on the A, and I have to go to metrics, new metric. No, not that. Actually, let me watch. If I go to metrics, new metric window, and I type in A, there's this space in between them that I don't want. So what I do, what you gotta do, is you go to metrics, auto width. Now you set the separation. I'm gonna set the minimum to 0. I'm gonna set the separation to 1. Now it has to be more than 0, because if it's less than 0, I've tested this. If it's less than 0, the letters will overlap in Fusion. And when the letters overlap in Fusion, Fusion doesn't know what to do about that when you try to cut things out, and it'll just give you an error, right? So these letters are not overlapping, but they're separated by such a small distance that when you go to slice it and 3D print it, the line that's left over is so small that it won't get printed. And I've tested this to the maximum size of my printer, and it still won't print that size of gap. So that's how that works. But now if I go to metrics and I type the A, see, it's much closer together. There is that tiny little gap there, but it's very, 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 very small. So now what I do, go to B. B. I gotta click on back here, right? I don't know. Import B. Click on back. Transform 150%. Click on 4. If I auto trace when the back is highlighted, it won't show up as part of the font. It's weird. But now auto trace. Now I can get rid of that. Select just my B. Invert. Delete. Highlight it all. Okay. So now if I go to B and I go to auto width that one, that moved in the thing, which is good. So now I can type A, B, 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 A, B, A, B, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. And they are all the same height, and they are all the same space apart. And I like the spacing between the actual letter, right? I believe that I can auto width all of them at the same time. But even if I can't, I can do that one at a time faster if I just do it at the end. So from here on, I'm just gonna do the next one, and so on. So, and I don't know how many I can get done. I have about 20 more minutes, so to work on this for now. So I'll see. So C. Click on 4 so that it will actually trace. Click on the back with that. Okay, I don't want to move that. Okay. edit, select, invert, delete, select it all. And there's so many points at first, right, that it doesn't like want to select anything at first, I've noticed. So file, you know what, I'm going to save this. It's going to want me to make a new thing. Put this in my, where is it? Desktop. Yeah, okay. Save. There, that way when I need to stop, I can just save this. There are still some things I don't quite know how to do. I need to figure out how to get, when you start a new line, right? I need to figure out how to make a new line be where I want it to be relative to the other lines. But yeah. Also, I think I can do the next letter straight from this window here somehow. But I'm not sure how I can go on to D from this window. Is it this one? Oh, there it is. It's in view. Okay, that's great. That's gonna get me faster. Click on back so that the back layer is the one I'm editing. It's kind of like a really weird, really technical vector graphics program, you know, which makes sense because like a font is apparently just a bunch of vectors. Transform. Okay. Get that about there. Click on 4. Element, auto trace. Now select just the D. Hit select, invert selection. Delete all that. Get that snapped down. There. View, next glyph. Bring back the back. E, import. Click on the back so that that's the one I'm manipulating. Element, transformations, transform, hit OK because all the things I was doing was done. Click on 4, element, auto trace. Select just the E. Edit, select, invert, delete. Get it snapped. Real quick, I've got D and E, that's good. View next glyph. Import F. I don't know what I did there. Click on 4, auto trace. I just noticed that it doesn't open a new window. It moves, it changes my window to be, because look, there's these. Okay, anyways. Edit, select, invert, delete everything else. Snap. View, next glyph. File, import, G, E, F, G, import, click on back, element, transformations, transform, okay, get that as close as I can, for element, auto trace, only select the G, edit, select, invert. Now by doing the select of what I want to keep and then inverting it, right? That's obviously getting everything but what I want to keep deleted. Because if I was to like manually select everything else, I could accidentally miss something. So H now. Import back element transform okay, for element auto trace, okay, edit, select, invert, and delete. Grab it all, snap it, cool. Next glyph is I, import my I, back element, transform, for element auto trace, get my I selected, edit, select, invert, delete it. Now select it again and drag it to snap onto the grid. Next glyph is J. Import J. Manipulate the back. Element. Transform, okay. Click on for element auto trace. Select J. Invert. Whoops, invert my selection. Delete it. Get J snapped down to the bottom. Okay. Next glyph, which is K. Import K. Import. Click on back. Element. Transform, okay. Move that to about close enough for element auto trace. Select K. Edit, select, invert selection, delete, snap K to the origin. Next glyph is L. L. Back. Element. Transform, 150, OK. For element auto trace, select L and only L. Edit, select, invert, delete, snap L down. Next glyph is M. Import LM, JKLM. Import back element, transform. Get that to where I want it. For element auto trace, select just M. Edit, select, invert, selection. Now grab the letter and snap it. Yeah. Okay. Now real quick, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Yeah, okay, cool. I've got them all. So now I've got next glyph is N, import, cancel, import the big N, import, click on back, element, transform, OK. For element auto trace, select my N. Whoa! I accidentally clicked on something I didn't mean to click on. Okay, so I'll select my N. Edit, select, invert. Delete all that. Snap down my N. Is that snapped? I think it is. Next glyph. Import O. Back. Element. Despero, don't be playing with my filament, please. Transform it for element auto trace. Select my O. Edit. Edit. Select. Invert. Delete. Grab the O. Snap it down. Snap it down. Okay. Next glyph is going to be P. Import the P. Import it. Click on back. Element. Transform. OK. For element auto trace. Grab my P. Grab everything but the P. Delete it all so that I've just got the P. And put the P in its place. Next glyph is Q. Import the Q. Get the thing as big as it needs to be. For auto trace, pick out my Q. Okay, delete everything, get Q on the bottom. Next is R. I think I'll just go until I've got all the capital letters. Import. So element, transform, okay. For element, auto trace. Get everything but R selected. Delete it. Snap the R down. Next glyph. S. So S. Okay, next is T. Wait, hang on. Yeah, I should have been doing that. Okay, get that. Get it bigified. Yeah, for auto trace. Edit, select, invert, delete. Next glyph is U. Import the U. Click on back. Element, transform it to be bigified. Click on for element auto trace. Edit, select, invert, delete. Snap down. View next glyph, which is V. Import V. Click on back. Element, transform, bigify. get it in that box there. For element auto trace, select my V, edit, get everything but V, delete everything but V. Whoa, what happened there? Okay. Select my V, move my V, click on back. Yeah. Okay. Next glyph. Okay, this one is W. W was rather big. This one might have an issue, but I don't know. Because the issue is that the W is going to go past the line here. And I don't know when I set the thing if it's going to ignore everything outside of the line or if it's going to bring it outside of the line. So click on 4, element, auto trace. Select everything but W, or select just the W. Now select everything but W. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on W in this window. I'm going to go to Metrics, Auto Width, click OK. Now I'm going to go back to this other window. Aha, 1004. So it made the window bigger. So it's capable of making the window bigger. I was worried it might only be able to make the window smaller. But it's good. Okay. View, next glyph is X. Import X. Oh yeah, I could have just typed it. Go back. Element. Bigify. Auto trace. Get just X. Get not X. Delete not X. Snap X. Next glyph is Y. I could just Y. Import. Okay. For element auto trace. Okay. Now finally is Z. Okay. For element auto trace. Get everything deleted except for the Z. All right. Now, if I select C, I should hold Shift and get V. Okay. C, Control V. Nope, I just have to click on all of them. L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Metrics, auto width. Okay. Then X, Y, Z, metrics, auto width. Okay, now if I make a new metrics window, A, B, okay. Why is everything slow? Why is everything slow? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Cool. They're all the same height. They are all the width that they need to be. And they should be close enough that like they should be close enough to each other that like they don't look bad in a word. If I type the word algebra, yeah, algebra, or choral, or karate, or karaoke. Is that how you spell karaoke? I don't know. Or Japan, or Hawaii? Yeah, Hawaii. Or anti-disestablishmentarianism. Can I make this big enough to... Oh. Okay. Or... super... Yeah, califragilistic expialidocious. Supercalifragilistic expialidocious. Okay. Yeah. They look alright. So, oh, hang on. Queen of the Zoo Keepers Guild went fishing for phonemes? I don't know. Yeah, they all look good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save here. Saving, okay. That took a while. So it did something. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is generate this font. And I don't know anything about any of these things because I've never made a font before. So I'm just going to keep everything as default. I do know it has to be a TTF. And then I'll see There it is. Okay. So I will see now how well this font works in Fusion, but first I gotta put the font in my fonts folder. Okay, now I can open up Fusion. So Fusion won't be able to read a new font if it's open while you install the font. You have to close Fusion and restart it, and then it will be able to see the new font you installed. Okay, so if I start a sketch and I make a great big square, right? Then I make a new sketch, I make a text box. Now I set it to 5, right? Because that's what I designed my font at. And it's going to be in the T's because I called it 3DP inverted stencil. I've got several different fonts in here that I made as like a learning how to generate the font. S-T... here it is. It's funny because it doesn't have the lowercase letters yet. So it's just got... So only the but if I type in this computer's graphics driver or hardware may be limiting performance, learn more here. I don't care. Howdy ho. Hello. Goodbye. What in the world? That's weird. So I don't know how to, let me see, what does character spacing change? What? 2? I don't think that changes anything. Now what's funny is if I bold the font, it'll actually make the letters smaller. Oh, that's cool! Look at that, look at that. Okay. Anyways, what I need to test now is okay. Okay. Look. It says you can barely read it because the lighting, the visual style is off. But look, and there's a line in between all of these, but it's small enough that, watch, if I was to rename this to howdy ho hello goodbye, because that's what it says on here, and I saved it, and then I open up the slicer, Kira. I should probably start recording myself slicing my models. And then I open this one. I put this on the bottom and center it. And I hit preview. It's got a lot of travels. but it's not it's not drawing. See, there's nothing in between the H and the O. And then if I were to go back into Fusion and change this to maybe 20, and then replace it, then go back into Cura and reload. Oh, that's unfortunate. It is drawing them now. Let me see what happens when I turn off the. Whoops. When I turn off the italicized. Because I remember testing this. It's putting them in there. But also, I don't know how to the first new line had a space in it. The second one didn't. I don't know how to change that. I unfortunately can't do anything about this. Is thin walls checked? Outer wall, optimize, alternate. Fill gaps, filter out. Oh, print thin walls. That is rather unfortunate because. So when it was 5, let me see what happens when it's 10, because I do expect to be using 10 a bit. It's only one line when it's 10. Oh, wrong. That is a big gap. Okay. Save. Replace yes. Okay, reload. See, now there's still the line, but the line isn't. Oh wait, but that's because the print thin walls is checked. Okay, see, now it's gone again. Right? Because it's always going to print a thin wall if you click on print thin walls. But I don't do that because it kind of increases the odds of a print failure if you print thin walls. So I tend not to print thin walls. I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to close Fusion. Don't save. I'm going to open up this and select all of them. JK, LM. And then I'm going to auto width. I'm going to see if I can change that separation to less than 1. What's that say? Bad number in separation. Okay. So it has to be at least 1. But the minimum... Oh, wait, hang on. Maybe... Okay. Yeah, it has to be at least 1. Bad number of separation. That might be why... Can I, like... Oh, okay. Cool, I can drag it. Let me see something. What if I change the max to 2? Now if I go new metrics window. Whoops. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So some of these have a bigger gap than others, which is weird. I don't know what's going on there. It's because, interestingly, that point is beyond the window there. So, if let's see, if that point is beyond the window, and what about with A? That point is also beyond the window. With B, it's not beyond the window. Okay. So if I open a metrics window and I go A, but then I put A, and then I put Z and B, I don't know what these mean. R bearing, L bearing. Okay. What if I did them individually? What if I maxed it to 1? Okay. Now what? Now if I look at it, okay, C, D, E, F, G. There's still some big ones, and I don't know what the deal is with that. Set L bearing. Set L bearing to 1. Increment L bearing by 0. Scale L bearing by 100%. Advanced width does not change. I don't know what that means. Set R bearing. R bearing is set to negative 0.1387. What did that do? I saw something must have changed. I think it made it better. A, B, C. C still has a big one, but it's D. Doesn't have a big one. CD has a big one. DC. Okay. So it depends on the R. It depends on the right side, it looks like. So that didn't do anything. Yeah. So C, G, maybe I, L. Holy moly, what is L? That's weird. Anyways, let me see what happens when I generate this font again. Yes, replace it. And I'm going to go ahead and put this back in my settings. and open up Fusion and see what happens. Can I like type a... It'll just skip to the... Cannot complete extrusion. Okay. That sucks. Because it means... Oh yeah, look, they're overlapping. See that? That hatched line? They're overlapping somehow. Okay, so now I have to change all of these. Okay, metrics. I changed the R bearing. What if I set both bearings? That didn't change anything. Let me see if that changes anything. Okay, DEF. Let me see something. No, can't. Okay. I don't know what I did because it worked before, and then I changed the R bearing. I don't know if I can revert that. Font has been changed. Reverting the file will lose those changes. Is that what you want? Revert. Okay. So now if I generate the font again, replace, and then I move that in and I replace it. I hope that fixed it. I mean, 20 millimeters is pretty big. I'm probably never going to have font that size. But let me see something. Oh, whatever. Okay, that's fine. I wonder if there's something I can do to get rid of the... I wonder if there's something I can do to get rid of the, these lines here. Because, like, I can just do that, right? Which is still less tedious than having to design in the text every single time, right? Right? Because now all I have to do is turn off the body real quick. Apparently not. See, that's quite annoying. I'd have to cut away every single one of these, right? But now that's fully gone, right? I honestly don't know what to do about that. I wonder if I can make two fonts. One that's the letters, and another that's a masking layer, right? Or not a masking layer, a masking layer? Another, right, that kind of just... Another that's like, okay. So, the idea would be, if I open up Z, I've got... Z is... what, 885. Z is 885. So if I open up... So if I make another font, I can make a window, right, where that is... I'd have to kern that, though. And I don't know how to kern. No, I think I'll just go with deleting. I think I'll just go with manually deleting these things individually until I can figure something better out. But another thing I wanted to do, I want to see 2.431. And what was... Nope, wrong sketch. What was this set to? 10 millimeters? Set it to 5. Alright. Now, what is this? 1.216. Okay, so it's ever so slightly bigger, which is fine. What about this one? 1.209. This one, 1.209. Okay. I think it's close enough. So, like, it wasn't going to perfectly... It wasn't going to get things perfect. What in the world is wrong with this O? Look at this O. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, what is wrong with that O? But yeah, it wasn't going to trace anything perfectly, but like, yeah. Anyways, I think I've figured out what my solutions will be to that darn they can't touch problem, which is, for now, I'm just gonna cut out all of those things. If I have to, I'll just cut out all those things manually, but I probably won't have to most of the time because it won't be seen because it'll be too thin a wall. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get the lowercase letters and probably the numbers. I want to see something. Where's the lowercase c? Here. Cool. So the ones that are the same, let me just copy paste them real quick. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. P, S, T, U, V, X, no, W, and X. Alright. Now, do A. Import little a. Drag it around. Element, transform. Scale uniformly, 150. For element auto trace. Get A, invert my selection. Delete and snap it down. Next glyph, element, nope, file, no, import, little b, back, element, transform, okay. For element auto trace, edit, select, edit, no, okay, edit, select, invert selection, delete. Put that down there. Next glyph, import D. I hate when I accidentally click on the lines there. Alright. Next glyph. E. Transform, okay. For element auto trace. Select my E. Edit, select, invert selection, delete. Stop. Select, okay. Drag my next glyph. F, little f. Back. Element transform. For auto trace. Select the F. Select all but F. Move it. Move it. I said I want to move the whole damn letter. G. G. Next glyph is H. I wonder if I should be making these letters smaller, or if I should make them bigger. Because the idea here, because like, because when I had been doing testing, the letters that I had tested weren't actually the same size as these letters. I could probably select everything and make them all scale uniformly, just slightly bigger. And that might change the size of one relative to the rest of them, which might... I don't know. Anyways. Just keep going. Ooh, it's raining outside. I like that. I like the rain. The rain is good for work too, because it makes business slow, because people don't like to drive in the rain, so they don't like to go to fast food places. I click on 4. Next window, or glyph, I mean, is J. I was so surprised when J worked. Because J has the thing going wrong with it that I has, but it also has a really big... Darn, my throat is all... Anyways, it also has like this really big sticky outy bit, you know? And like, it's rounded, so like, it's not gonna like be a sharp turn that's gonna be likely to be snagged on the nozzle, right? But still, I should probably have rounded all these other edges as well, but whatever. Next is K. Right. And then what I think I'm going to do, in addition to this, is I'm going to make another font. And it's going to be the same letters, but I'm going to swap the positive and negative space so that it'll be, you know, like stencil, right? Instead of 30p inverted stencil, it'll be 3D stencil. And so what that'll do, what'll that do? And so what that'll do is, if I want to like make, I might want to do it differently, right? I might, instead of cutting out instead of cutting out the letters, I might cut out everything but the letters and then put the letters back in. Right? That's the idea. But I don't know if that'll work because of how Fusion acts with letters and crap, you know? But anyways, K. Next glyph is L. Import a little L. Click on back. Element, transform. Oops. Has to all be the same. Okay. For element auto trace. Next glyph is M. I'm not 100% sure if I actually need to be clicking back and forth between the back and the fore layers, but so far I've been having success doing that, and I think I need to because it looks like the fore layer is what the program says this is the font, this is the text, this is what I need to tell the computer to write, you know? And everything besides and in the back layer, that's just like other stuff like to reference. That's what how I think it treats it. But I'm not sure. And I can't just do everything on the fore layer because it puts the picture in the back, and for some reason I can't, and I don't know if I haven't been able to consistently get the picture to scale if I have the fore layer turned on, but sometimes it does. It's weird. Like, this is a new program. I don't know how to use it. I've learned just enough to trace what I've designed into it. I hope the O comes out fine because the O did weird things. Next glyph. Next glyph. Next glyph. Okay, now R. Okay. And then get that down. S is the same, so it's already in there. T. If I could come up with an easier way to like precisely define where these lines are and what these curved shapes are, I would honestly be be doing that. But like the only way I know so far in this program to do things precisely is to do this. Right? See, that changed where that point was. U V W X Y. Okay. Like it's tracing it well enough, right? That it's got straight lines where the straight lines are and curves where the curves are. So like it's fine, but it's not perfect. And it's not exactly how I designed it. But I mean, when it gets printed, it never really is anyways, right? Like imperfections in manufacturing processes and whatnot. So that was Z. Are the numbers are before everything else. So I have to skip to. So let me just drag here. Auto width. Okay. Now go to 0. Yeah, if I could, I would be designing this more precisely in this software, but I don't know how to do precise designs in this software other than exactly defining every single point, and I'm not going to go through all that effort, you know? So, I already went through a lot of effort in Fusion. Might as well benefit from it, right? Plus, this is how everyone does it anyways. Like, if you look up tutorials on how to design fonts, everyone like designs fonts in their preferred software and then they just trace it. They just come in here and they just trace it. But people who design fonts typically aren't designing fonts for the purposes that I'm designing a font. Right? I'm doing this so that I don't have to individually design every single number and letter every time I want to put text in something, you know, in my 3D prints. So I need it to have a different purpose than what everyone else designs fonts for. Because, like, all other fonts ever on computers were designed in order to look good. You know, they're for aesthetic purposes. This isn't for aesthetic purposes. This is for engineering purposes. It needs to look the minimum amount. It needs to look at least like the letter, and then that's it, you know. So the tools that are provided here don't have my purposes in mind. So, whoops. So like, you know, it's probably good enough for everyone else, but like, because it doesn't have my purposes in mind, I kind of have to find workarounds for everything, you know. I feel like I'm fighting this software, and I've got it to cooperate so far, but I feel like I'm fighting against it. It could just be that I don't know this software and there are easier ways to precisely define where things are, and I just haven't discovered it yet. But when I look up the tutorials for this program, no one ever is telling you how to like put numbers into things for relationships between points. So like, I don't think this software has that capability. Maybe another font manipulation software does, but this one's free, so. Yeah, 4 element auto trace. Edit. Select. Apparently, the first version of this software came out way back in like 2014. But so like, it seems absurd to me that there wouldn't be some way of like defining precisely where things ought to be, unless no one cared about that who uses this software, right? And that's probably the case. No one who uses this software cares about that. So like, they have the bare minimum for like if you are an edge case like me. But also, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, look. Okay, now I get it. Okay. This program doesn't like, see, this program doesn't like straight lines. So it will avoid them if it can, it looks like. Interesting. Anyways, that's funny because I really like straight lines. I will avoid curves if I can. Okay. Import the number 3. Element auto trace. Okay. I bet this program really loves this number 3 then. It's like, oh boy, curvy number. Curves, I love curves. It really does actually really like curves, watch. If I like put a if I put, those are all straight lines, but then I click on this and I drag it slightly. And look, all of these are curved except for where that point is, because it's like, oh, that point is a defined point. But moving the line doesn't move the points. It puts a new point and makes like a spline. That's not how it works in Fusion. That's not how it works in others. I mean, it's probably how it works in like image softwares, you know, like Photoshop and stuff, but I mean, I'm kind of trying to do like a fusion of graphic design and engineering, and like that can be a thing, right? And it shouldn't have to be hard. But I don't think people in the graphic design community think too much about the engineering of things. You know? Like, I think when they think about whether something will be possible to do, they think about, is the shape, if the shape existed in real life out of some hypothetical super material, right, that could withstand infinite forces and is infinitely rigid, would that shape be, could you move all the points on that shape uniformly? And that's a possible shape to make, right? So like, and what I mean by saying that is like, if I were to draw, if these two lines were shapes, right, but they were supposed to be one shape, they'd have to be that. That's probably all people think about in terms of whether something is possible, right? Import 5. Oh. Okay. Transform 4 element auto trace. Select 5. Edit. Select. Invert selection. Whoa, hang on. Okay. Select. No, don't select that. I want this. Delete everything, okay. Oh, everything got moved way the heck over. Okay, 0, 0. Cool. I wonder if the reason why things are overlapping and why it needs to be 1 and why the spacing between them needs to be 1. This is at 737.66. Right? So maybe it's moving the window. So maybe when I auto width it, it's moving the window just barely inside of it. And maybe the font has like a little bit outside of it. Right? So when the spacing between them is 0, it's not. So when the spacing between them is 0, right? You've got something overlapping with something else. And then Fusion is like, I don't like that. So I wonder what would happen if instead of auto width, I changed the width of these manually. That would be something to look into. 6. What time is it? 8:39. Okay. For element auto trace. Select my 6. Select not 6. Delete not 6. What? It did the thing again. It did the thing again where like... Okay. It did the thing again. See? Okay, there's my 6. Okay. That's just weird. Seven. Okay. Oh, see? That's what happened. Look what happened. Okay. I tried to select it, and then as soon as I moved my... As soon as I selected it, right? I let go. And I waited before I moved my mouse. That's important. Because if I don't wait before I move the mouse, right? All those points are slowing down the program, right? And so the program still thinks my mouse is clicked until my mouse gets up to here or somewhere. So it changes the selection to only be that much. So I have to make sure when I move my mouse that I'm not... I have to make sure I'm not going faster than the computer can think. Okay, port 8. Okay, now I can... There. Yeah, see, I have to slow down when I move my mouse because this program can't keep up with my mouse movements. There are a lot of points, like a lot more points than this program probably expects me to have. When it's troubleshooting the letters, if I have it troubleshoot the letters, I experimented around with like some of the tabs here. Whenever it troubleshoots the letters, it's looking for more than a certain number of points, and it's something like 1,500, which that's a lot of points. But at the same time, Fusion can handle like a couple 10,000 polygons, right? When it's making a mesh, the things can have like 10, 20,000 triangles, and it's just fine. So, you know, it'll have even more points, and then Fusion's in 3D, so like, again, this is a free software made by like apparently some dude. Well, originally made by some dude, but now it has a team behind it, but like not a big team, apparently. So like, it's probably not gonna have as sophisticated of like processing as Fusion has, right? Okay, last character is 9. Transform, okay, move that just there. 4 element trace. That took a while. Okay. There. Oh dear. Hang on. Okay. I couldn't see that line. Okay, so now if I go into here, I select these, my auto width, they're all the right size now. And let me go look into the numbers then. 643, and that's 643, I believe. No, look at that. It's at 642.82. So it looks like this window is rounding. So what I think I ought to do is take those points on the edges and put them smack dab on the window. Here, let me try something. I'm gonna go to 0 and 1, right? Okay, I'm gonna go to 0. Left one is always on 0. Let me look at it. So, I've got 736. So if I get info on this one, I want that to actually be 736. Right? And then this next point, I don't think that's a point. This one here, I want that to be 736. All right. And then that right there, that is... Yeah, that's not a point. That's just telling me that the path here is counterclockwise. And so what counterclockwise means is that determines... It's weird, like... I think, right? Because fonts... The way fonts work was created in like the 80s, right? And because everything has to be backwards compatible with computers, right? It still works like that. So the way that a font software knows where to put different vectors is you draw a path going clockwise, like literally your hand goes clockwise, right? And it has this path, and then if you go counterclockwise, then the software knows, oh, that path should override whatever was in wherever it overlaps on the second path, right? That path should be cut out of the first one, or something like that. But anyways, so this is okay. This is that now. What? Oh crap, I don't know what I did. But anyways, go back to 1. So I go to 1, right? And I go to this, and that's also 736. So move that to there. Because when I was testing it, right? When I was testing it, I was able to get them to touch. But I think that was because I was putting the lines, I was putting the points on like the exact numbers. Alright. So now, if I select these two, and I auto width them, but instead of my separation being 1, I set it to 0. Now let me see something. If I generate font, replace, generate. Okay. Now, let me put this in there. Yes. Okay. So just the 0 and the 1 have the 0, right? So if I don't type if I type anything else, it should be fine. So let me go into Fusion. Okay. Make a sketch. Text. Zero, 1. Okay. Cannot complete extrusion. Okay. So if I go back, auto width, and change that back to 1, and I generate the font, and I close Fusion actually. And I do this. And then I open Fusion again. Cannot complete extrusion. Why not? Okay. The letters worked, right? So if I just... So I just change this to the letters, right? A, B, C. And then A, B, C. See, the letters worked. So it's because... aha, yeah, that's right. It's because... Well, apparently now it's because of that. It put it inside. That's odd. Okay, let me see something. If I change the 0, and I go to, what is new outline window? No, okay. If I go to metrics, set R bearing. Set R bearing to -1. Can I set that to 0? Okay, I set that to 0. And what did that do? So if I go to 0, now what? The line is on the line. The line is on the line. Okay. So set R bearing. Set that to 0. Okay. And if I go into this one, the line is on the line. Okay. So now, if I close Fusion, and then I generate the font, generate, replace, generate, and then I drag and drop it and replace it. Yes. Now, I open Fusion again. I make some text. I make it 3DP inverted. I make it the numbers 0 and 1. And then, okay, hang on. There is a tiny little gap there, but it's very, very tiny. It's very, very tiny. I think that's because I set the auto width to something. But, okay, there's a bunch of bodies here now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Again, this isn't how this font is intended to work. I'm supposed to cut this out, not put this in. So there we go. Now, this is 10, I believe. Let's change this to 20, see what happens. Let's change this. Okay. Okay. Gonna open up Cura and see how big I can make Cura. Or I can make it in Cura before it wants to print it. So, making sure that the print thin walls is turned off. Okay, click on the preview. Slicing. Why is it taking forever to slice? Okay, and it doesn't print it. Okay, so now let me go back into Fusion, change the sketch, change this to like 50, which is about as big as it's ever gonna get, honestly. Any letter bigger than 5 centimeters is just absurdly large. Okay. Yes, replace it. Reload. And it still didn't do that. Okay, so if I set... Okay, so that's good. So what I'm going to do then is what I did with 0 and 1. Because now these are so absurdly small, these little gaps, that it's never going to need to be cut away. Because, like, look at how big this is. Look at how big this is, and it's still not printing the wall. Right? If I make this like 100, which is... I could probably... I don't even know if it'll fit on my build plate at 100. It's still not printing it. And look at that. Look at that. Okay. So, like, it... Realistically, a gap that small is never going to get printed unless I print thin walls, obviously. And even if I print thin walls, it's not even seeing it as big enough, right? It's seeing it as a super small little line. It's only one line width, right? It's only one extrusion width. So it's so small that it's not even if it does print, it's barely going to show up, right? Like, that's crazy. Okay, so I like that. So the spacing that I have for 0 and 1 is what I have to transfer into all of the font, the whole font. So I think that's what I'll do next. 0, 1, 2, cancel. Okay. And the R bearing. It was the R bearing. I don't know if I have to move those points in all of these individually. If I have to, I will. But I will... the L. But I will look at... But I might be able to just set the R bearing to 0 on all of them. But anyways, this is a good stopping point for here. So I'm going to go ahead and save the font. And then I'm going to saving... Yeah, okay. And then what is... Just out of curiosity, what does the font look like in the preview? The quick brown fox jumps over. So the spaces are funny because it'll be easier to tell when it's 3D printed, right? But it'll be easier to tell the spaces when it's 3D printed, but that's funny. Can I move this window so that over is that 72 point, 12 point, 18 point, and I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Oh, you know what? Let me look at the... I think I can do most of these. The equals is going to be tough. The slash is going to be tough. The star I can do. Minus is going to be tough. Minus is going to be tough. Plus I can do. Can I do plus actually? I don't know if I can do plus. Parentheses I can do. Because of the way the I and the J work, I can do the exclamation point and the question mark. Now the parentheses, not the parentheses, the quotation marks and the apostrophe, I don't know. They're gonna have to touch only one edge. Same with the period and all that, but I don't think. Yeah, The underscore. Is there an underscore? I don't see an underscore. Anyways, but this is an almost complete font, right? Like these are all characters that I don't think I'm ever gonna use, and if I do, I'm not gonna use them often. But I might put them in there. So who knows? But anyways, this is a good stopping point for now. So I'll stop here. Okay, so I just realized after sitting here thinking for a minute that I think I have enough. I've got all the letters and numbers, right, in a font now. So I think I have enough to test out if the font works, right? The font's not done because I need to figure out how to do like the vertical line spacing, and I need to figure out how to get the gaps between the letters to be small enough that the very thin walls that it generates won't be printed. I mean, I figured that out. I just got to do it. But anyways, I have enough now, right, to actually test the lettering, the font itself. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a sketch here. I'm going to project the outside of this palette. Okay. And then I'm going to finish the sketch. I'm going to get rid of the palette. Then I'm going to make it. And I'm going to put a sketch on it. And now I'm going to put a text box in it. It's going to be 5 millimeters height. And I'm just going to type A, B, C, D, E. Whoops. And I'm just going to go ahead and go to 3DP inverted. I'm going to type A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, L, M, enter, N, O, P, Q, R, S. Okay. That is an issue. Okay, 2 enters will work. T, U, V, W, X, Y, enter, enter, Z, space, whoa, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Lowercase z doesn't have the font in it. Why doesn't lowercase z have the thing in it? Anyways. Space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay. Change that to be centered. Okay. And then I should be able to select just the font and select just the font. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're all good. Okay, so there I have it. Now I gotta go back into FontForge real quick. I have to save this. Okay, rename this to typed palette. Alright. And then save here. Okay, now I have to close this, and I have to go back into FontForge because apparently I forgot to copy paste the Z, which is weird. Which is not a big deal. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead and go into here. Click on my font. Yeah, Z. Okay, copy, paste, metrics, auto width. Okay. File, save, file, generate. Oh. File, generate font. Generate, replace, yes, generate. Okay. Go back into my settings. Go into fonts. Go here. No, go here. Go into here. Okay. Z is in there twice. So drag and drop it. Yes, replace. Open up Fusion again. Now I am curious. Will that automatically change it? It did not. Okay. So let me go into that sketch then. Way the heck at the bottom. Okay. Okay. Okay, now it's in there. Okay. So now I can save this. Then I can take the sketch here, rename that to typed palette. And then go back up here to the bodies, go all the way down to that. Save it. Cancel. Go back down to the sketches, because what I want to do is put 2 enters in between them, because I don't quite know why. Sometimes it gave me... See, sometimes it gave me a little bit of space. Sometimes it gave me no space. So every line here is going to get an extra. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Okay, so the Z, so some of these letters are like printed twice because they're the same thing, but yeah, I've got all of these. So now if I just save this mesh, all right, and now I can open up Cura. Open my typed palette. And see the preview. So it's not printing the thin walls. And if I look at where the whatchamacalls are, the perimeters, this looks pretty much like it did before. So I think it'll work. The O is different. The O is different. The Q is the same. Something strange happened with the O. I might have to do the O again. But the Q is the same. I don't know what happened with the O. Maybe I'll just redo the O. But everything else looks good enough that I should be able to print it all out. I've got one. If I go back into Fusion, I make a sketch here just to measure it. A lot of geometry there. And I measure this 5, okay? And I measure this 5, okay? And I measure this one 5, okay? And I measure from here to here 5. Cool. Good. So I'm going to save this here. Then I'm going to go back into Cura. It's going to take 35 minutes, which is a little longer than the whole palette took the first time. Probably because there are more letters, and even though it's less filament because there are more letters and there's more empty space, it's going to take longer because it's got a more complex shape to draw. So I'm going to go ahead and save that and see if it finishes. So saved, and I'll print it out, and hopefully it'll be good. If it's good, right, then all I got to do is adjust the spacing in FontForge and maybe change the O. Right, so I'll see about that now. So here is every single letter and number printed out. These were typed out by the font, these were typed in Fusion using the font that I made in FontForge based off of the designs that I designed in Fusion. It's pretty good. There are some, right? The I and the J still look good. That's great. But there are some spots where it did print the really thin lines. I'm assuming because they just have bigger spaces between them, and so that's what I'm gonna do with my that's what I'm gonna do in a little bit. I'm gonna go back into the font and set their widths and make sure that they have their auto widths set correctly. There's a couple of like very minor nitpicks about the quality of this print. Like there's a couple of blobs on the B and the C. And then the M has never had the gap at the lowercase m has never had its gap for the top showing up. I'm just gonna get rid of that. And then yeah, it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. What else? I think so. Yeah, I just need to fix like the letter spacing in the font, and I should be done. And I think that the spacing here, just double enter is a pretty good way to get the spacing I was looking for, because I was looking for basically that spacing anyways. So, but if I can figure out how to do it in if I can figure out how to get the vertical line spacing in FontForge set, I don't know if that's even a thing you can set, but if I can figure out a way to do that, that'd be great. They look pretty good on the back too. Basically, as long as the first layer finishes with no issues, there won't be any issues for the rest of the print. And you honestly can't say that about most fonts. So this is pretty good. I feel like someone else who is cleverer than me can do a lot better, but this is pretty good for me. Also, you can tell, but you kind of have to be looking for it, but you can tell that the O's got screwed up. I might fix that. But other than that, other than this and the M, right, it's pretty good. I just need to deal with the spacing now. And it looks like the letters that need their spacing fixed are capital T and lowercase h. And then I might need to double check the ones that are on the right here. Capital M, capital Y, lowercase l, capital X, 0. And then I've got Z for both. I've got Z for both of them because there's a space after Z. So the way I envisioned using this is if there was going to be multiple words, those words would be separated by a space, and the space, well, the words are separated by a space, but like the space would be nothing, so that nothing would get cut out. So like there would be a line in between each word, right? So you could tell which word is which, right? So that's so I'm not gonna like make a space, and I don't think anyone makes space characters, but yeah. It's funny because if I were to make the inverse of this font, which I was thinking of making the inverse of this, where instead of making the space around the letter be the font, make the letter be the font, right? But then if I were going to do that, I'd have to make the space, right, in order for it to show up, which would be pretty funny. Like I'd have to make the space into just a box in order for it to be funny. So that's kind of funny. But anyways, yeah, just gotta fix the spacing now, and maybe the O and M, and that's about it.